Right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. My name is Evan. I'm from Hik-Vision. So today we're going to be focusing on the Guanlan technology. So there's quite a bit that I would like to share with you guys. So just give me a second to move my screen around. Well, before we get into that, I just want to move. I see everything is everywhere. There we go. Well, the first part is that I would like to share with you guys is please join the e-learning platform. All our training sessions are on there. Everything is showing where we will be. If you're not too sure where we might be for training, you can have a look at our calendar and it will showcase where we would be as we progress forward. More dates will be uploaded to our calendar. So please keep an eye out on that one. I just want to go to the next date. So as you can see, it will show you different areas, different locations, wherever we are. So please have a look at that. I'm looking at the other screen, so there's nothing wrong with my eyes. Just letting you know, I'm just trying to look at the different directions. And then yes, for Guanlan, so please follow our website as well. There's a lot of information on here. Please make sure that you are on the Africa portal. That is just to make sure that you have the right equipment that is displaying. So there's quite a lot of information in here that we would like to share. So I've made it a little bit shorter. So Guanlan, obviously, so much information. And then obviously some of the newer cameras that are being released, definitely have a look at that. So there's quite a bit of information. But enough about that part. So let's get into it. Right. So I've got a lot of people in today. Welcome. Some of them had coffee and cookies. I wasn't told not allowed to take cookies. So please leave me some. No, I'm joking. Moving forward. All right. We have presented this already before. So just the breakdown scale, some new features in there. And we're also going to be doing a practical this side. So we're going to show some of the guys that are here that what's happening in the showroom and how that works in real life. Right. So actually, we have gone through this. Guanlan is an AI technology that we are making use of. So a lot of people are familiar with ChatGPT and etc. Or on WhatsApp as well. But for Hik-Vision, and because we're a Chinese company, we use DeepSync, and DeepSync is a Chinese ChatGPT, if I can put it that way. It's free and it works way better. But that's just my personal opinion. And then when it comes to that, obviously, we've used that technology into our existing AI systems that we have for Hik-Vision, especially our deep learning algorithm and our deep in view technology. So with that, obviously, a lot of changes have happened over the time period. So starting from where we were with the first layer of AI technology on cameras to all the way to the newer layer, as you can see in the deep learning algorithm, and so we progress forward. Now, the last bit, obviously, AI has taken over everything almost, and that rapid technology change in equipment made things so much more advanced than what we ever expected it to be. So there is a saying in Guanlan, that's the reason why, and again, I'm not going to repeat what we did before, and I'm waiting for my PPT to move to the next slide. Sorry, PPT problems. Just give me a second. It's busy. It's stuck. Yeah. So how's the weather? Oh, great stuff. Okay, so for whatever reason, my PPT is stuck. It's not moving anywhere. Yep, it's completely grayed out. So as you can see, it's crashing. So just give me a second to restart it. Where's the program? My apologies. Every session this happens, I definitely need a bigger resources device. Okay, there we go. Let's open again. Come on, today maybe. Great stuff. For whatever reason, I cannot see it. Let me just stop sharing. My apologies. Go, got it. Righty then. Attempt number 2 for the day. I think that should work. There we go. Let me just double check on my side. Oh, it stopped it accidentally. There we go. All right. So Guanlan is just regarding a saying for a very wise person in China, and it means a lot to them. This focuses on obviously just a section of this section, which we've already presented to you guys before. I'm just trying to see why my presentation is not working. I think it went through the next slide. It did. Okay. So moving forward, it's catching up. I can see it on my right-hand side. So obviously we've taken this technology and we've really pushed the boundaries. So for certification, I've mentioned this before. We've obviously got the certification, a high standard for this. So for our AI technology, we are front runner globally in the world, not just as a brand company, but as a technology brand company. Right, moving on from there. So there's different verticals in this, starting obviously from a normal visible light to infrared light, and then obviously different aspects of it. We normally use the example from our motion 1.0 to motion 2.0 to smart motion. Then we have AccuSense, and so the list goes on. So technology has changed quite rapidly. One of the biggest technology that we are focusing on also, it's not just the perimeter protection, but also on the millimeter wave, our X-ray technology and fiber technology as well. So there's a lot of resources in there. But as from a perimeter protection, and this is what we're focusing on, is the VCA versus the AccuSense versus the large-scale AI model. So VCA is two categories. First one is VCA can help you with how we look at security environments for perimeter protection. Also, VCA helps you with telling you what has happened and giving you shortcuts regarding that. So when you are searching for something specific, we make use of VCA. Then we have obviously AccuSense. In AccuSense, obviously there's a lot that we can do with that for perimeter protection. But there's still some people that don't know how to set it up correctly, and this is why they get a lot of false alarms. So we focus on the large-scale model itself, where we reduce up to 99% of false alarms, where it's more accurately. And in those large-scale, we have multiple different modules of AI. So from facial recognition to PPE, if you're not wearing a hard hat, people counting, obviously, and there's so much more. Then we get into gun detection. Maybe somebody's smoking in the office. Maybe somebody's making a fire in the office. I don't recommend that, but there's certain places. And maybe somebody's running down a passage. Maybe we now know we call it street behavior, but it doesn't have to be street. Please take note that when we tell you these are certain areas, it doesn't have to be confined in that bubble. It can be used outside it, depends on your environment, and obviously needs to be tested. Maybe as staff members, especially in our guarding division or guarding environment, people fall asleep, isn't it, when they're guards? And then when you wake them up, they go, Amen. They're praying, So that helps. The AI will inform you that the person is sleeping, or maybe the person has left their desk and they're not working. So there's a lot of AI in this large scale. Moving forward from there, hoping that it goes. There we go, it moves. So as I mentioned earlier, the technology has changed quite rapidly. So from our Smart 2.0, that is now obviously our motion detection, where we use new different motion detection sensitivity, smaller box, smaller pixels. This gives us the capability of classifying the motion detection between a human, vehicle, and others. And then obviously the deep learning algorithm, where we're focusing on searching for that kind of environment. This is just brilliant because this gives you your capability of finding in the playback that somebody took your bag, and then you can search where else in that system itself have you seen on any other cameras this person with this bag. So then you can see where they went in and where they went out. Then we get into the large scale, which is even more accurate. On the large scale, we've got two categories, and later on I'll get into that. So in that AccuSeek is where we can search for something specific. Maybe somebody that's driving a red car, or maybe somebody's got a blue jacket on. So this gives us quick, easy way to search for something, and it shows us all the clips and gives us percentage. So later on we'll highlight that. So for perimeter protection, there's a lot of information. I'm waiting for my slide to go to the next one. Give it a second. It's buffering on my side. There we go. So different levels. So starting with level 1, obviously using the conventional cameras that we already existing have. So this does not mean go out and change all your cameras. Well, from a sales point, I think that's a good advice, isn't it? Go out and change all your cameras. But from a reality point of view, that's going to be pretty pricey. So this gives us the capability of making use of existing cameras with AccuSense itself. Then our level 2 is obviously using thermal cameras. So please take note, in thermal cameras, we cannot use the large-scale AI in thermal. This is just from perimeter of view itself, and giving you an idea of different security levels itself. Then we get into level 3, where we use the large-scale AI box itself. There's 2 different categories in these, and later on I'll show you. But in that means that I can take either a Hik-Vision. We recommend obviously a Hik-Vision. This means that for the black little one there, we can take existing camera setup environment or field of view and use that up to 4 channels. Then we obviously have for the Hik-Vision side, where we make use of Hik-Vision equipment, normal CCTV cameras, and use that large scale. Then we also have cameras itself. So there's a lot in that. And then we have PTZ with radar. And then we have the optic fibers itself and all the different new sensors and the distances that we can do. And we have covered this a little bit. So I'm just going to try and move on to the next page. Yes, covered that part. So in that category before, I showed you guys only 3. That would be the 5 series, the 7 series, and then the new camera itself that's out. But we also have the PTZ. So in the first one is the 5 series. In the 5 series, there's quite a large distance that we can cover. This is just a brilliant little camera and cost effective. And I know that some of the guys will compare this versus a thermal camera. Even internally, some of the sales guys are also discussing the same thing. But if you look at what we can do with the camera compared to thermal, thermal has its place, don't get me wrong. But we're talking about perimeter protection, normal environments itself. So thermal has its place, but this is more cost effective than a thermal camera for that environment. So if you're trying to cover a property of 80 meters or maybe less, then sometimes the guys will make use of a Heat Pro camera. But now you can make use of a 5 series camera, cost effective, and it has the new Guanlan AI built into it. So that is a plus. Then we have our 7 series itself. In the 7 series, obviously larger distances that we can. It also has a very focal lens, so helping you to adapt to that environment. So again, reducing that false alarms. And then our trite lens itself. This gives us 3 cameras that's built into this device with flashing lights. I know that this picture shows you red and blue. We do have testing units for the area that's red and blue, but we are confirming to change that to a white light flashing because of security reasons in our country. Right, so large scale itself, and we'll get into that part. And then the last one is on some of our PTZs, the new models, and also our tandem view coming in September. So this tandem view allows us to use the large scale AI in the tandem view already. So that's just brilliant when it comes to that. Moving forward, right. So this is the 5 series itself. Again, deep in view, giving you that nice, beautiful picture at nighttime with Dark Fighter 2.0, fighting the darkness using that color view environment itself of the technology, giving you a colorful image at night. So there's quite a bit that we can do during the day, up to 80 meters, at nighttime up to 60. But to be honest, at nighttime we can do quite a bit more, depends on the light environment, but don't tell people that. So there's quite a bit that we can do in there. And then moving forward, just to show you how that looks like, I just want to get my laser out of the way here. Give me a second. There we go. Perfect. Don't think this is no, that wasn't the video clip. But large environment during the day versus in the nighttime. Obviously, this is a night, very nice lighted up area at night. So my apologies. But yeah, it definitely does work. So in the 7 series, again, large differences itself that we can do, cover different ground areas. So again, reducing that false alarms. The nice thing about this one in the 7 series, you have the two-way communication, which is a benefit to certain environments. So two-way communication, so you can shout to the person, do not be there. And it's got anti-corrosion. Please make sure that if you are using this in a coastal area, try and keep 2 kilometers away from the ocean. It's not sandblasting proof. It is corrosion resistance. So just resistance against corrosion. All right, moving on from there. So just to show you from our office environment how that would look like, this was the other night, picking up the person, trying to remember what that distance was that we discussed internally. This was now just a few days ago. Zooming out on that one, I'm just trying to get the distance. That was 78 meters where that person was walking around. So very nice. You can see right here at our office at nighttime, perfect environment. There he's walking at the back, triggered the alarm, done, dusted. I know the block is not the best, but you get the idea though. All right, moving on from there. So in the Trite camera itself, this gives us the capability of using 3 cameras built inside it itself. Each one is at 10 degrees difference. In that 10 degrees, we do 3 different locations, 4 mil, 12 mil, and 25 mil. This gives us a very wide coverage itself, and also, like I said, the flashing lights to warn the intruder that he cannot be there. So very nice. We have gone over that part itself. So just to show you on the AI box itself, so there's differences in certain environments. I'm just trying to get rid of my laser here while the video is playing. There you can see the person in a very dark area at nighttime walking. So 2 categories, like I said, we can use the 4 channel. That is this one here. I just want to get my laser out. The 4 channel. In this 4 channel itself, AI box, it has a 2 terabyte storage capacity inside. This just captures all that information. So whatever it sees in the scene, in that environment, whatever your rules are, this basically focuses on that rules, and it confirms. This is what the AI box does. It confirms before it pushes out the alarm. Is this really a person? It could be Michael Jackson. It could be a Yeti, who knows? But we confirm before we push out the alarm. All right, so that's why the processing itself is very important. The nice thing is that you can install this specific model, only a 4 channel, into a harsh environment, up to minus 30 degrees and up to 60 degrees Celsius itself. So a harsh environment, it's also a bit more rugged. And then we have our normal ones that we can make use of AI boxes, which is an 8 channel and a 16 channel, giving you up to 8 megapixels. That is 4K resolution. Again, 120 meters of VCA for that detection area. And that is when we are using existing infrastructure itself. So helping you make use of that. So conventional cameras all the way to the devices, depends on how many channels you need, reducing your false alarms. So that is why the AI box is just brilliant. Just waiting for it to go to the next slide. There we go. So as you can see, very straightforward, very small little black box. This gives us the capability of setting it up if there's somebody that's walking around or wherever it's triggering. So conventional area, normal cameras, just plug them in, link them up, and reducing your false alarms. All right. There is also outputs in the event that you might need them. Right, we have gone through this one before. So large scale, again, depends on the lens that you are making use of. Yeah, you can see 45 meters at nighttime on a 2.8 mil lens camera. And I think for AI box to pick up that very far distance, it's a big deal, right? So even across the road from us, you can see even vehicle detection, and that's across the road. So from our offices here in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So just letting you know. Oh, did I mention the fact that it's a normal Gen 2 camera? I think a lot of the guys will recognize the naming rule. At nighttime, same thing. And this is from a top view, eh? Not even from a side view. So if you are very good with our AccuSense, you'll know top is a bit of a problem. Side is much better. So pretty impressive. Right, moving on from there, AccuSeek. So with AccuSeek gives us the capability of using that deep sync technology in our Guanlan large scale. Then we can search and it will find over different devices. So there are different categories, and I'll highlight them now before I get to that video. This gives us the capability of typing in and searching something. So if I want to search for a man wearing a black shirt, walking a dog, I will search for that and it will give me all the solutions that it's seen, or something close enough according to the percentage. So in that scale, just waiting for the page to go through. So there are different models. So once we search for different environments, we just put in the keywords, we search for what we are looking for, a person, smoking, and luggage, I think it was, suitcase. It's that simple. So it gives you different ways that we can search for, different categories, maybe somebody on a bicycle, maybe somebody pushing a trolley, or maybe somebody's got a step ladder. So very nice, different categories. Well, just to show you in a normal environment, just as our ad for this, give me a second. I don't think everybody's going to hear. Don't worry about the music. It's a little bit soft. Apologies.
It's like searching for a new set.
Especially if you've got a lot of activity. So someone's taking that laptop. Person with a laptop. And you'll also see the percentage underneath it. Quick, easy, fast. So much more effective compared to the previous VCA searches. So with AccuSeek, it's much faster. That's on the NVR, right? So let me try and break this down as best as I can. There are different versions. So we've got version 1 and version 2. So not all devices will have these versions. So please make sure that you have the right equipment that is new with the right versions already pre-installed. We do not recommend maybe upgrading. There are 1 or 2 that can have the capability of upgrading, but we're not focusing on those ones. We're only focusing on the ones that you can get now with this technology built in. So version 1, please take note that on version 1, I just want to get my laser out there, version 1, it's human vehicle and it's other vehicles that are motionable, like maybe a hoverboard, maybe a guy on a scooter, maybe a guy on a bicycle, maybe a skateboard, something like a vehicle that's moving along. So this gives you the capability to search for those type of functions, human, vehicle, and something else like a vehicle that's moving around. This is on the NVRs. Then the normal NVRs that I'll highlight just now. Then version 2 is human, vehicle, and objects. In objects, we focus on different type of objects, right? That object can be a garbage can, can be a dog, it can be, a keyboard, it can be water bottle, it can be something that is an object. So it gives you different type of technology capabilities. So we have different models. So in the I or the V Pro series, either the I Pro series or the V Pro series itself, this gives us the capability of just using that version 1, right? So very straightforward, very easy. Please have a look at the models. And this is only up to 64 channels, right? Then we get into the new Deep in Mind models, the new ones, not the old ones, the new ones. And like I said, be careful about upgrading. Some can, some cannot. We're not focusing on that at all at this moment because we'd rather prepare and get you the unit that has this technology on it. When it comes to the version 2, up to 32 channels of AccuSeek, right? This gives us the capability of in real time searching for that kind of environment. So when it comes to the Fusion server, again, same scenario, just more upgrade. There's a lot more that we can do with it. Another thing to note, when it comes to searching for different environment, it's easier to do that over a certain aspect. Here, we can only do it with the cameras that are in that category or in the Deep in Mind. But when it comes to the Fusion server for a control room environment, we can search over all the cameras. So there's a lot more that can be done regarding that. So there's different categories. Some can only search in that environment of where the cameras are. Others can search over different recorders over the same time, right? So giving you much more capabilities, right? So again, large scale. And also now for free, by the way, so free on the web browser itself. So if you are making use of the NVR, or maybe you're using the interface, the GUI interface, also coming up in our mobile app on Hik-Connect itself, giving you the capability. So you can search for that kind of find a car that is on your local interface in your local devices. There we go. Searching for it. Give it a second. And there it shows you. And it will also show you the percentage of the accuracy, right? So please, depends on how it was set up and what that sensitivity and what the results are. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So that's on the new Hik-Connect 6. And then the Hik partner, on Hik Central. Hik Central will also give us the capability to be able to, in future, to search for that. That will be under version 3.0.1. So it's coming, right? I think that's pretty cool on Hik-Connect, right? Different languages. I tried it. I searched mother-in-law. It didn't work. So I didn't get a warning. So that part, there's still some teething issues there. She still came to visit. Anyway, moving forward, so letting you know from different equipment. So from our 3 series, Deep in View series, our PTZ series and PTs. So this category, different models itself, please make sure that you have the correct firmware and make sure that it's released. If you have these specific models and your firmware is a little bit outdated, please have a look at upgrading, make sure that it's in controlled environment. Moving on from there, when we get to our recorders itself, this is the Fusion itself, the Deep in Mind model, the Pro series, as well as the I and V Pro series itself, different categories, letting you know different time periods. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. And then behavior, which Peter is here. He's going to go through the guys here that are visiting to show the behavior analysis. So when it comes to that, there are large scale AI servers for these. So giving us the AI technology, different servers. So from the edge to our normal central server. So please keep an eye on that. I think we have already presented this before. Yes, we did. So moving forward, different categories. If you are using standalone cameras or third-party cameras with recorders, you can use the edge itself. If you are using Hikvision equipment and third-party equipment, please make sure that you can use the centralized server for that capability. So large scale, much better. So in the AI box itself and also in the edge models, different ways that we can use the detection. Please take also note that some of these detections depends on your environment. Camera needs to be the correct camera for that environment as well. So definitely keep an eye out on those. Moving on, large scale again. So different scenarios. Okay. And then for different AI detections. So from gun detections itself, this is not a solution to give you a warning that the guy walked in with a gun. If the system cannot see the gun, we don't know. And please take note, if somebody's holding up a gun, it just went to the other one, my apologies, holding up a gun, please take note that if the person's holding up the gun, it's kind of difficult to get it early. It's just notifying you. Also, other ones, maybe somebody's falling down. That was just funny. Maybe somebody's running down a passage. Maybe there's a group of people in front of a jewelry shop. If it's all ladies, then it's probably they're discussing a wedding ring or engagement ring, right? But if it's a bunch of guys standing there, I'm telling you, it won't be that same category, right? The guys they do it alone, isn't it? We don't take partners with us. We hush about that, right? And maybe there's a group of people huddling around. Maybe there's a busy broiling. Maybe there's something happening. So different AI for different environments. Moving on from there. So maybe somebody's leaving their desk environment. Maybe it's an operator. Maybe it's a staff member. So if they leave their desk in a certain time period, then you can get notified. I think they need to add in bathroom breaks as well. But anyway, just letting people know. And then maybe if they are roaming around, maybe they're sleeping at their desk, maybe they're on their phone itself instead of watching the presentation or something. So giving you different warnings for that environment area. So there's quite a lot more that we can make use of, especially in the health and safety side. Maybe somebody's smoking on a phone. Maybe they are not wearing their hard hat. So there's different categories that we can make use of that. We also use it in the retail side. I know they're not showing it here, but trolley detections is one of them. We do have quite a bit in the retail industry itself. Maybe the fridge door is being left open. Also now, maybe in an event that a certain product on the shelf is now empty, we can also create AI to tell you that you need to tell the manager to restock. Right, so there's quite a bit more. And because of crime and security, we all know how COVID was. Some people are using the mask now to their benefits. So then they do an armed robbery. So like the olden days, you know, things have just looped around. So no matter what you're doing, that's Peter. Peter is testing there to show different ways that we can detect that somebody's wearing a mask to give them a little bit of a heads up that something might happen. Right, I think that was my shirt, Peter. Moving on, right. So promotion, just to let you guys all know, promotion is still carrying on since last time. A little bit of changes in prices, downwards, a drop. So if you would like to smart try these or order these, please get in contact with your Hik-Vision representative. So this time period, we now in August the 8th, so 2025, not 2026. So this is for this time period. So if you're watching this video in the future, please, if you can, send me the lotto numbers. I would really appreciate it. Moving forward. Very nice. Everybody happy? Any questions maybe? Or you guys want to ask questions in there? Not on the recording. Okay. Moving on. All right. So that is our Guanlan. I'm going to hand over to Jade and the rest of my team that's not in here. Jade, all over to you.